What is going on, ladies and gents? Michael or Legacy Kill HD back here with something a little different for you today, and that is we're going to be discussing two very controversial topics. One being that Battlefield 1 is apparently sexist for having no female characters in a World War I setting, and then the other is Bethesda Game Studios possibly stealing mods from the community and using it into DLC. So we're going to start off with the one that really bugged me the most, and that is Battlefield 1. I usually don't discuss Battlefield at all. I love the games, I just don't discuss it on my channel. But I was reading some articles, watching some videos, and it really just bugged me. Some of the media picking up on this and discussing it and not actually going into specific details is what bothers me the most. They pretty much bashed DICE for not having female characters, yet females did not play a very big role in World War I. Did they have some roles? Yes, they did. In the United States, they were making ammunition in factories. There were even some medics on the battlefield. Were there many in the front lines? I'm sure there was a couple, but there probably wasn't many compared to the millions and millions of men that were battling and dying. And then when you also flip the side and go to Russia, there was some battalions set up. What was their goal? These battalions' goals were for propaganda value. But yes, some of them did make it to the battlefield, and a lot of them were enduring rape, physical, sexual abuse, and many other types of things that just degrades females. And it's unfortunate and horrific, some of the stuff that you actually read into what happened to these female soldiers. So I understand where DICE is coming from with this. This game's already been applauded by many World War I historians for being very realistic. But when other YouTuber channels, such as the Know, when they discuss this and fail to actually inform the average viewer about this, I think that's bullshit. It's my personal opinion, and I'm not trying to spread hate to them. I love their content. My biggest point is that this video is a misrepresentation of history. That doesn't stop just there. It goes to other websites, such as an article by Screen Rant. They fail to actually point out that too. They bring up the fact that there was battalions, but they don't discuss what happened to these battalions and that they were in such a small little quantity compared to the millions and millions of men. If you probably do a comparison with numbers, it was probably what, 97% of men were on the battlefield, probably even more. It doesn't make any sense why DICE would need to put female soldiers in this game, and they are trying to make a historically accurate title. And I guess you could make a debate about other Battlefield games why they haven't done this, but with Battlefield 1, it makes sense. But in my personal opinion, this game is not sexist at all. It's just historically accurate to most of the senses. It does a great job at trying to bring a World War I setting to reality. And I applaud DICE for what they're doing right now. They're making a great game, and a game that backs up with history. But my initial reaction with all of this was, what the hell? I just do not understand why so many websites, so many YouTubers try to make this into a gender battle, females versus males, and I feel like many of them try to set up for this. This is not a gender battle, this is about history. And then when I hear about coders trying to stir up drama, saying that the game was originally screwing realism, but going for let's just have female soldiers because we haven't done it before, and then apparently they changed their mind because they wanted to favor towards boys because they thought it would not be realistic. Of course we don't think it's realistic because it's not true. And that's my biggest issue with this. The misinformation that's being spread throughout the internet from all these websites. I just wish they would back it up with actual facts and show off what is true and what is not. And please, please stop comparing this to Call of Duty and Overwatch.
There are some players upset over the fact that you can't choose to play as a woman in the multiplayer. After all, that's an option in Call of Duty. They've had that since Ghosts in 2013, plus Black Ops 3 even let you play as a woman for the main character of the campaign.
Battlefront, another DICE game, also allowed playable female characters in multiplayer. And even taking all of that out of the equation, it's 2016. Just about every game that has any sort of customization has a male or female as its first choice.
These games are not set in World War I. These games are made up sometime in the future in their own setting. I mean, Overwatch even is a cartoony type of thing. I just don't see how you can compare Battlefield 1 to Overwatch. It's horrible reporting in so many senses. Shame on the websites and the YouTubers that actually reported about this and failed to mention those details, because that, guys, is pure bullshit. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think they're right? It just doesn't make any sense to me, these lies that are being spread. You have to add all the details. It's not that difficult. A big shout out to Rags, one of the YouTubers that actually even got me wanting to discuss this topic. Check out his video. He really did a lot better of a job than I could have actually discussing this and putting it into a better perspective. Again, this is about making a historically accurate game, and when your only counter argument is saying that tanks function in a different way and the lethality rates of early parachutes is different, that is why we should have female soldiers, that is pure bullshit. Don't spread that around. That's just lies, and that should not be a reason why you pretty much alter history. Anyway, guys, let's get away from this topic before I get even a little bit more angry. I usually don't even swear in any of my videos. I could have gone a lot bigger with this, but it's just a topic that really is just bothering me in so many ways. anyways, which is why I felt like I had to talk about it. Let's get into a different topic, and that is Bethesda possibly stealing mods from the community and using it in the Far Harbor DLC. We're specifically actually going to discuss the Fallout New Vegas mod Autumn Leaves, and how it's very, very similar to Far Harbor's DLC questline Brain Dead, and how that actual mod came out a few weeks before the actual DLC was released, and there's a lot of people questioning if Bethesda ripped off this mod. Now, this is actually coming from the mod's creator. He discussed the similarities, which are absolutely insane. This is how he begins off. He says, first off, both the quests begin with a discussion through an interphone with the caretaker of the vault, a head waiter robot with a rather distinguished persona, and thus the vault quest begins. And this is not really crazy since most vaults that's how it begins, but it gets a little bit more interesting as we go on. Both quests actually involve investigating a murder by checking a crime scene inside of this vault, and then you have to speak to every robot in the vault and figure out the murder. Then the mod creator actually points out the mysterious death of the prime financer of the vault, who in both cases worked alongside Vault Tech to build this special vault. He later continues stressing the importance of the voice modulators, pretty much distinguishing the robots, and he also discussed that sexy time that you actually have with one of the robots, the sex scene, which doesn't make much sense, but it happens, and it's very weird that it was more of a comedic type of deal that happened in Far Harbor, and the fact that it actually happens in this New Vegas DLC, which really makes me start scratching my head. Just a really weird coincidence. And then it gets even more strange. There's actually a let's discuss paintings with one of the robots in both bits. And the fact that the atriums both look so similar, it just definitely, you would think that Bethesda, yes, took some type of inspiration from this mod, but unfortunately they came out and stated that they had no knowledge of this mod and they made this completely, I guess, by themselves, which really starts striking up the debate, should modders get more recognition in the community? I definitely think this may be a coincidence, but it is definitely very, very weird that this actually happened. Technically, Bethesda is not in the wrong. The guy's not upset about this, the modder. He just wanted to point out, saying that there should be some type of recognition. Actually, under one of the agreements, the EULA, pretty much Bethesda owns everything. Any of these mods, they're all owned. All the rights, all the royalties goes to them. And that's why a lot of people in the community start bringing up the debate, should modders get rewards in some type of sorts? And I don't actually agree with that. Technically, you're using Bethesda properties and you're making your own parts of it. It's pretty much a fun little thing you can do. Other people can play, but you can't make money off of this. Bethesda's already stressed that in the past, and it's unfortunate, which is why they pretty much just state mods are for fun. They're not for any type of money, and that could bring into a lot of issues if they bring monetary value to this. Anyway, this is just very, very weird. I know that Bethesda's Pete Hines has come out and said this is a complete coincidence. It just really gets me scratching my head no matter what. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on that. Also, tell me which topic struck out to you the most in this video, and also like the video if you did enjoy or found any informative value, and subscribe for much more content maybe along these lines. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.